Hey, it's Sharon here from Content Sparks, and in this video I'm going to give you a sneak peek inside our course called Create Your Business Growth Plan. Now before I get started, just be aware that on the sales page here there is an overview of each one of the modules in the course along with screenshots of the materials. But in this video I'm going to actually go inside the folders that you'll download when you get a license to the course, and then you can see exactly what get that tangible feel of what you're going to download and get. So let's jump into the folders now. And you can see that there are 3 folders of materials. Those are the ones you'll get with the Blaze package: the student materials, the instructor materials, and the lead generation materials. And I will go through each one. But you should know that the student materials are those things, of course, for your students. Those are the materials you'll give to them or put into an online course for them to learn all about how to create that plan that's going to take their business to new heights. Then the instructor materials are there to help you teach. There are things like the slideshow that you can use to create a video series or to present. And then there's also the lead generation materials, which are different things to help you attract students to your course, or customers or clients. And there are a variety of things in there, like primarily a lead magnet to actually build your list of prospective students. So starting with the student materials themselves, we have the course book. That's the core content. So I'll open that up for you. And that's in a Word document. So you can see here that there's a place to put your logo. There's a table of contents, so you can see that those module descriptions on the page here, the sales page, there's the table of contents that matches up with it. And then if you go through, there's all the materials. There's the learning objectives, which, we use instructional design best practices. So there's always a learning outcome or objective for every single module at the minimum. And those are the things that people will be able to do when they're done with your course. So there's module 1, there's the expectations at the very beginning. There's some graphics that we created using the Word features in there. You can edit those very easily, change the colors. And the end of each module has some key takeaways from the course, so from that particular module, so you can do a little summary. And then the action steps of what they should do next. So this can be self-paced, or you can guide them through it using the instructor materials, which I'll show you in a second. So that's the course book, the main thing in there. And then if we go back up again in the folder structure, you'll see the action guide. And the action guide is there for them to do those action steps from the course book, from the end of each module. So again, it matches up with the modules themselves, and there's places in each one for them to take notes and fill in, do those action steps that they're guided to do at the end of each module and that you'll explain to them. Also, in this particular course with the action guide, or in with that action guide, are 2 other files to look at. One is the business growth template. Now, in the action guide, they go through all the different steps of the modules, but in the second to last one, the module 11, they actually take all the work they've done in examining their business and their strengths and their weaknesses and opportunities and what's been working now with their marketing and their team and their processes, and they put that together into a growth plan. And this is the template we've put into a separate document so that they can always refer to this as they're moving forward. So it has a place for their mission, their ideal customer, their goals, and then their plans around marketing, things like what's working that they're going to continue, old ones to get rid of, new marketing tactics they're going to add, things to do with their team, changes to make in their processes, their tools. And then I'll show you in a second that we also have created a financial forecast spreadsheet they can use. And then there's places for key metrics and deadlines. So that's the template. And as I said, there's this financial forecast spreadsheet. There are 2 tabs in there. One for them to put in their history, because you have to look back at what's been going on in the past in order to be able to project what's going to happen moving forward and what changes you really want to make. So there's the history, and then there's a tab for them to actually think about how their changes are going to affect their revenue and expenses and everything moving forward, including their cash flow, because for small businesses, that cash flow part is really important. So they may look at the cash and the changes they want to make and say, you know what, I really can't afford to do that right now. I'll wait 3 months and do it there. And they can just play with all the numbers in here and figure out what they're willing to invest in their business. So that's very important in this course. Other things in the student materials, I want to highlight the cheat sheet because this is really, really popular with people. What it is a summary of each module, and you can use this as a whole document that you give people, especially if you're sitting down and doing this in a day, for example. Or you can break it up. For instance, if you're doing this as an online course, you could break up each one of these as a PDFs that accompanies each module, and then it gives people that quick summary of the modules so they don't have to go back through the course book or the recordings, the videos, and find a point that you talked about. So that has the key takeaways and the action steps for each one of the modules. And of course, you can make this pretty, make it into PDFs, use some design features, in somewhere like Canva, or outsource to a virtual assistant to make it pretty for you, to make it branded to your business. You can keep it pretty simple and just put your logo on as well. So that's just an aside. That's part of the branding, and we have a branding guide to help you with that. Other student materials are just the graphics from the course book, which are also used in the slides, and you can go through and edit these. They give it a little bit more visual impact, and some people like to see those summaries in a visual. It helps them learn better. And there's an overview infographic. Again, this is another nice visual that's a high-level view of the course in one spot, in one image. So you can use it to refer back to where they are in the process, and they can also use that, especially in a self-study program, or looking back to see what was going on or what they covered or where they are in the process. And then with the Blaze package also comes this slides handout document, and this is all your slides put into a Word document, so people, and you would then save it as a PDF after you've edited, and people can actually take notes while they're listening to you present, or you can just give it as a handout at the end. Like if you're doing it in a webinar, this could be the bonus that they get a copy of your slides. So there are various ways to do that. This is kind of an extra perk that you may or may not want to use, but a lot of people really appreciate this if you're presenting it live, so they don't have to copy your slides as they go. They can just take notes on what you're saying and really listening to you. So that's everything in the student materials. As I said, that's really the core of the course. And then the next folder is the instructor materials. And the core of that is your slideshow. So the slideshow, which I'm also going to open up here, the slideshow, again, it's ready to be rebranded, put your own design on it. That's very simple to do. If you've already done it once with a presentation, you can just go into your design tab and find that other presentation in the browse for themes, and then just apply it. Or again, get a virtual assistant to do this for you. That's always the easiest. Or go into Canva and create a background image that you can then put into the master slide. So for instance here, if I go into View and Slide Master, you can go up to any of the slides in there and just change it, like put an image in, and then it'll reflect throughout the presentation. So I have a couple tutorials on that, so I won't go into that in detail here. But you can see that there's the basic content in each slide, just in bullet point format. A lot of this comes from the cheat sheet, so you can use that as a guide as well. And below each of the slides are some speaker notes that you can use as a guide for your script. So if you're presenting or recording this as a video or webinar, use that as your guide and then make the language your own. Make it sound like you, sound natural. But it's there to guide you so that you don't have to think of it all on the spot. And this is again set up in the same format as the modules. You can break it up. And if you're doing it live, like a webinar or live presentation, there's a reminder here to ask questions and do your learning activities. And then if you're, again, doing that activity live, ask for people's insights, so debrief it afterwards. So you can see those graphics are in there that are also very easy to edit. And then that's really pretty much it on the slideshow. So again, you can do that as live, video, webinar. It's all set for you. You've got the basics, which saves you the bulk of the time, and then you just need to make it your own. So now those are the core materials. So I'm going to try and move a little bit faster with the rest. There's an implementation guide that gives you some extra details and instructions on how you can run the course. I'm not going to open that up, but I also want to show you that we've exported those speaker notes into another document. So if you like to have it right there in one document, a lot of people like that. They can edit it right there. There's an evaluation form that you can use and put into a survey format to get feedback. You should always get feedback after a course so that you can improve it as you go, because you're not just going to run this once, you're going to run it multiple times and make it better each time. After the course, you want to make sure you follow up with people. We've given you 5 emails as a starting point for after your course. You want to use them to reinforce what people have learned and give them more tips, send them to other information, and even start sending them to other upsells as you go along. Don't do that right away. First, get them to actually implement what they've learned. And then there are some research sources. So use this to bone up on the topic yourself and see where we got some of the information from, but really just to refresh your own knowledge or to learn more before you teach. The other things in this folder are just a list of all the contents in a separate document. So before you even look at anything, you can open up this document and see exactly what you're getting. So it's like your table of contents. There's a curriculum. So these are suggested courses, other things that go with this one. So if you want to make this into a larger program, we have a suggested curriculum. You can actually see that on this sales page as well. So I'm not going to go into that in detail either, but there is a discount coupon that you can use if you buy this course in order to buy any of the other suggested programs in there. And then some other instructions and guides and whatnot. And the very last folder I want to show you is the lead generation materials. Now this is to help you attract students to your course. And what you're going to want to do is build a list, preferably, of people that are already interested in this topic, and then nurture that relationship with them, and then sell your course to them. It's going to make it so much easier. You should always launch your course by building a list of interested people first, and that even includes your customers. So you don't have to create your course and then suddenly tell people, hey, I've got this new course, come buy it or come take it. You can first give them something free and ask them to sign up if they're interested in that topic and learning more. So that's one way, especially if you don't have the course ready yet. But in this case, what we've given you is that first funnel. So there's a lead magnet. It's called 6 Ways to Jumpstart Your Business Growth Today. And it focuses on tapping into your easiest source for expanding your business, your current customers. So start them out with that. Send them this report. You can also send it to them in a cheat sheet format. So that overview, I'll open this up, that overview like we did with the course itself. And this is a nice summary. Some people prefer just to give people this, just to give their prospects this. And we've also put it into that slideshow format. So you could present it as a webinar, use this as your basis of that webinar, make it short, make it even a streaming, some sort of live stream. So that's another way to do it. There are 26 slides, but you could break this up more and add images and just talk through it. So that's the lead generation material. And then what you want to do, or that's the lead magnet. And then what you want to do is send them some emails after they've downloaded or participated, if you're doing it as a webinar, and start nurturing that relationship, giving them a little bit more information and tips about growing their business. So we give you some as a starting point. So here are a few different things in here with different topics. And then at the end, we've given you 5, but you could add more emails. At the end, you want to really push them towards that course, maybe even add another email that gives them a proper overview of the course. And the other things in here are some blog posts. So we give you 5 that you can use on your blog. I suggest editing them as well to make them your own, adding maybe some other suggestions, resources, images in particular, and then a link to either your lead magnet or your course. And the very last thing in here, oh, nope, there's one more. Forgot about this. There is an infographic in here, which you can also share on social media or just with your students or your customers. Use this any way you want. It's always great. It's the 6 ways from that opt-in report, but all summarized in one image. And now the last thing is some tweets. And what this is, there's a variety, I think there's 30 different tips about growing your business. So you can use these on any social media, but you can also use them, say, on an image or even as an idea starter for an email so that you can add to your email. So use these in whatever way you want. Don't think of them just as tweets, because a lot of people don't even use Twitter anymore. And that is everything. So this went a little longer than usual with my overview, but I really wanted you to get a feel for all the different materials you're going to get and what you can do with this course. And I don't want you to get completely overwhelmed. So again, there's that summary on the sales page. And let me mention again, if I go up in the folder structure here, I showed you the 3 folders of material you get with that Blaze package. So that's the full multimedia type package. So you can create a multimedia program because you're getting the slides. So you can make videos and presentations. You're getting the lead generation material. So you can create a whole funnel. But if you just want to use this to learn for yourself, then there's the Beacon format, and that has just the student materials in it. Just the student materials, no lead generation or instructor materials, no Flash. And then the other is just the Flash. So if you're just looking to generate leads for another course, for example, on business growth, or you're not ready to do anything else, then grab those as, just on their own. That's the opt-in report and emails and whatnot. And that is everything. So please let me know if you have any questions at all. Take a look at everything on the page. Look at the samples as well. There are a couple samples on the page. And let me know if you have any questions. Take care.